Hey there folks, and welcome back for another video. I'm Chris from iLeather.com, and today we're going to use RazoRock Al Sapone. I almost forgot the name there for a minute. This is a nice soap by RazoRock. The scent is, I'd call it 3.5 to 4. It's not super strong, definitely below medium. The way I describe the scent is a nice cologne type scent. I can't pick out the individual notes, but it is a nice soap, and there is inspired by Ray Pope. It says Pope on a soap there, which is pretty cool. Ray is a friend of mine. Let's wet the face and get going. Stay tuned. All right, and here we go with our Al Sapone, inspired by Ray Pope. Sometimes with these RazoRock soaps, you'll notice as you get down into the soap a little ways and knock off sort of that top layer, they become a little more fragrant, but sometimes they're a little light. So be aware of that. That said, he usually doesn't charge as much as everyone else. It tries to bring you a great value product. Now, quality-wise, I've always said, you know, these work very, very well for me. I'd call them middle of the road, you know, in quality. They're not at the bottom, they're not at the top, although he does make a few that are much better, like the Dead Sea and the I can't remember the other one. There are a few one-off RazoRock soaps that are very good in quality, but the regular RazoRock line, I'd call middle of the road. You know, but for what you pay for it, I think it's a really good value, and there are some really great scents. The complaint that you often hear is, you know, some are lightly scented, and that can be true. Overall, I think it's a nice value, and I do appreciate that value. And as you can see here, no lathering problems today. We're also going to use, by the way, using the RazoRock 400, which I like a lot. And I'm going to use the RazoRock Hawk today. So it's stainless steel, which is one of my favorite razors. Absolutely superb. It was 59 bucks, which is crazy. What a tremendous value. Single edge Artist Club style razor, by the way. Does a great job on my face. Not a great head shaver. I don't care for these long Artist Club style razors for the head. They're just too wide to really do much good. Only part of that blade touches your head, so all that extra width really doesn't do much for you, in my opinion. But for face shaving, like most of your cheek there is flat, or relatively flat, it does a fantastic job. On the head, I don't find that it really does much for you. In fact, only part of the blade sort of touches your head, unless you got a flat head, which I do not. So I don't see much of an advantage for me using these sort of Arctic Club style razors on the head. They just don't really have much of an advantage for me personally. You may enjoy it, and if you enjoy it and you think they're outstanding, then they are. It's all about you after all, and that's something I think we need to emphasize is, you know, this is one of those, your ultimate mileage may vary sort of hobbies, where what I like you may not, and so forth, and always keep that in mind. All right, excellent first pass, no problems whatsoever. Absolutely enjoyed it. Stay tuned, we'll come back for pass 2. All right, and here we go, pass 2, and as I was saying in the first pass, you know, it's important to really go out and get a variety of opinions. Now, if you find that your preference and scent tends to match mine, you know, you'll probably be fairly successful if you buy soaps that you enjoy and I like them, but it's not going to be 100%. But if you find you tend to like the type of scents that I do, you may find that you like more than not that I also like. However, when it comes to hardware and different things, my use case may be wildly different from yours. And when I say use case, I mean type of beard. For example, I'm an everyday 7-day-a-week shaver, both on my head and my face. You may be a every 2 or 3 day shaver or whatever the case may be. Or you may have super rigid, tough growth that may call for a different style of razor. So always keep those things in mind. Yesterday, for example, I saw David Gonzalez, and he was talking about charcoal, and essentially, it was a post in Razor and Brush. He said he just didn't think it was special. He'd used it, I want to say 5 times, and he just didn't think it was special. And I think that's a fair opinion, and an opinion that folks should listen to. Look, the dissenting opinions where somebody sort of goes against the grain and doesn't like things that a lot of people seem to like are just as important. He doesn't have any reason to not like charcoal that I'm aware of. So for him, it just wasn't, he didn't feel it was a premium razor. It's one of the one of the best razors I've ever used, and I've used a ton. And both of us are right. That's the thing. That's why this is a your mileage may vary hobby. You know, it didn't float his boat, and I think that is an opinion that is worthy of consideration, just as mine is. And so, you know, I actually, you know, personally, I love my charcoal razor. I have no buyer's remorse, and I'll continue to say that. And someday I'll probably buy another one, open comb or who knows what. But it's important to listen to all the opinions, you know, not only that, but also in the way that customers are served with various companies, and, you know, everybody is entitled to their opinion, and the moment that we can't have any sort of dissent, there'll be no point in doing this at all. So I, for one, applaud that sort of thing where you just go, you know, he wasn't slamming it, he was just going, I don't find it special. I think that's entirely fair, although it differs from my opinion, and that's just the thing. This is all opinion. Everybody's right, essentially. So always take that into consideration. Watch videos, read reviews, take in a number of sources, and then make your decision. That's my advice, and I think that'll serve you well. All right, stay tuned. We'll come back for pass 3. All right, and here we go. Pass number 3. The shave has gone really, really well. The scent's coming out more that I'm lathering it, and it's done a very good job, and that's kind of what RazoRock does for me. It just does a good job. Is it the same quality as Cold River? No, and I never claimed it was, but boy, I can use it. As you can see, it lathers, and at the end of this shave, I will have had a great shave, and that's sort of what we're after, you know. So it does a really fantastic job for me, and I don't have to pay a lot for it. And that makes me happy. I received a few emails recently where folks said, you know, they weren't interested in watching the channel because I disabled the comments. And, you know, I'm sad to see those people go. But, you know, folks sometimes are going to appreciate different aspects of the channel. And right, I just don't have time, folks, to moderate comments and keep people from writing ridiculous things, both about me and other folks, which has happened. It doesn't happen a ton, but it does happen. And I'm just too busy to, you know, I'm more interested in putting out the content and trying to keep up with answering people, emails, and all these other things than trying to moderate you. Believe me, when you have as many videos as I do, that's some of my videos aren't visible because I took them down. If I stop using something, they're no longer available. But if all my videos were up, it would be close to 1,000. I think there's 800 and some that are actually up. You have to consider that people don't always comment on just the video you make today, but videos going all the way back. So when that happens, it's a tough job to, you know, keep up with all that stuff. And I don't mind the criticism because that happens all the time. It will happen. It pops up all the time. People will email me and say, I saw this there and that there. And I'll go, it's okay. It's fair criticism, you know. You're going to have people that don't like it and for whatever reason, they, just like we don't like razors, sometimes we draw those opinions about people. We like the way some folks conduct themselves and better than others, and that's okay. But the stuff that's malicious and just flat untrue and ridiculous, I'm not tolerating that on my own platform. And if that causes you to leave, I do understand, and I thank you for watching. But I would also tell you, there are other ways you can comment, and those, if you don't just want to comment to me via email, chris@ileather.com, which is always available to you. There's Twitter, there's my Facebook page, iLeather Facebook page, there's Instagram. There are all those platforms for you to comment on if you so desire. And if that's not enough, I do understand. There's a lot of great content out there. You can go watch David Gonzalez, you can watch The Clean Shaver, you can watch Mantic, or any number of people, Nick Shaves, who do wonderful work, Suffolk Shaver, all sorts of people. So no shortage of great material. And I just thank you for your time, and thank you for the time you did spend. But I don't have the kind of time to moderate the comments. All right, excellent shave with the hawk flying proudly today here on iLeather. All right, let me rinse the face. We'll come back and do the post. Stay tuned. All right, and then comes the magic made by witches. Thayers Witch Hazel, which is great stuff. This works as an astringent. Also soothes the skin. Sometimes people will ask, what it does, and that's basically it. It also can moisturize. It has aloe in it, this one. I use the non-alcohol version, as I'll use an aftershave typically with alcohol in it. All right, quick review of the gear before we move on to the aftershave. RazoRock Sapone, really nice stuff. I enjoyed it. You saw how it worked. It worked beautifully. So judge it however you want, but at the end of the day, I got a wonderful shave. RazoRock Hawk, it was a ridiculous price at $59, all stainless. Excellent. I love this razor. And RazoRock 400 synthetic, another excellent value. I think it was like $19.99 or something like that, but no buyer's remorse on any of those. I didn't spend a lot, and it does a great job. And we'll finish it off today with a little Sapone aftershave, which is, again, admittedly, I'm not the greatest at sussing out notes, but I can tell you what it reminds me of. This reminds me of an oud type cologne. Just all around a nice scent. I think they picked a good one for Mr. Pope. And Mr. Pope, if you're watching, here's to you, buddy. All right. Thanks, everybody, for watching once again. Until next time, we ask everyone to help make the entire world shave great once again.